What's up everyone, Luke here with another video. In today's video we're going to be talking about phone flipping meetups. So it is after dark and this is typically when phone flipping meetups go bad. So in today's video I'm going to do a quick video on just a couple places that would be completely acceptable to meet up to swap phones, whether it's at night or during the day, and a couple that aren't acceptable in between. So this is kind of a topic where, in my opinion, meeting up with someone kind of depends on your character, or more or less your charisma or the vibe that you give off when you meet up with somebody. I personally feel like there are many situations where I met up with someone, but because of the fact that I speak with confidence, I go for the deal, go for the kill, whatever, I don't ever feel like I leave myself vulnerable. I don't ever feel like I give the vibe to somebody that, hey, this guy's vulnerable, we can take advantage of him, we can rob him, we can beat him up, we can do something to him to harm him. I feel like I give off the vibe that if you rob this guy, it's not going to be easy. And then second off, if it does work, he's smart enough to figure out who we are, get us tracked, call the police, and get us in trouble. So people don't ever think to do that. At least that's my opinion. Now, I feel like when I was younger, when I was a little bit more timid, a little bit more soft-spoken, wasn't really into sales, and I feel like, I could have possibly been robbed at that time. I just feel like displaying confidence is extremely important in this business, especially when it's your phone flipping meetups. So keep that in mind. When you guys meet up with somebody, even if it's during the day, but especially when it's at night, talk with confidence. Don't get the shakes. Don't act nervous. It's kind of like a scared dog. Like if you give off nervousness, people are going to see that right away. Like if you've ever, seen a dog that is nervous, you'll notice that, you'll pick that vibe off right away, that it's kind of skittish. And you don't want to give that vibe to somebody that you're meeting up with, especially late at night. Now, I'm not saying everybody out in the world is a bad person, but you don't ever want to give somebody malintent ideas when you're meeting up with them to buy a phone. Like I said, hey, maybe they had no intention of robbing you, but if you show up and you're very timid and, you're just giving off this vibe that you're skittish, afraid, whatever, they might pick up on that and they might take advantage of it. They might try and capitalize on it in a very, very bad way. So this is something to keep in mind. Try and speak with confidence. It doesn't come naturally for everyone. Some people it does. Some people, it takes months to learn. But just keep that in mind above all. Speak with confidence, secure the deal, and just go for it. Don't act skittish. However, regardless, all that set aside, that, in my opinion, is just kind of something that I've experienced over the years that I think has helped me. But I wouldn't necessarily say that that would stop somebody, especially if you met up with somebody that was also very confident in their ability. So keep that in mind. So like I said, we're going to showcase a few places that would be acceptable to meet up for phone flipping. So right now we are sitting out and it's like 10:30 at night. This is Steve's Alternator and Starter Service. Looks like a cute little place. It's probably owned by, your grandfather or, maybe your grandfather's grandfather. Nice place probably to meet somebody for phone flipping during the day, other than the fact that it doesn't have Wi-Fi. But would never ever meet at a place like this. Never ever would meet at a place like this at 10:30 at night or midnight or 1 a.m. or whatever. This literally screams robbery. And the reason why I'm making this video is I've seen a lot of people in the phone flipping industry. There's a lot of people out there that get robbed. They have problems meeting up late at night, etc. And I have a feeling that they meet up at places like that. Like, yes, there's lights outside, but there's no cameras, there's no people, there's no action. You got to meet with people where, although there might be a lit parking lot over there, there's just no action. Now, here's another example. Now, this is American Red Cross, Western Wisconsin. This is not a small company. Yeah, it's a smaller building, but it's a little mall complex. But the problem here is, one, you're not going to have any Wi-Fi. Two, the parking lot is just not that well lit, and it's after business hours. It's well after business hours, to the point where if something happens here, if something goes wrong, nobody's going to hear you, nobody's going to see you. Okay, luckily, there is like this little barista restaurant. I don't know, I think it's maybe a brewery. I don't know what it is. I've never been there, but there's people over there. So potentially if something bad over here happened, you'd probably be okay, but still not recommended, just because of the fact that if something did go wrong, you might be okay physically, but your money could very well go missing from here. It's a situation and location that gives off the vibe that tells someone, hey, I could take advantage of them. And you don't want to be a victim to somebody out there who's just looking to rob you. Now, continuing on, same thing with this location. Obviously, you wouldn't want to meet there. They don't even have any lights on, which is surprising. Most businesses keep their lights on to prevent robbers from robbing them. And if they do have cameras, then they can, see people. So that's really interesting. Maybe they forgot to leave their lights on. Now, this place over here, I don't know if they have Wi-Fi, but if this place here had Wi-Fi, you can see there's people out there, there's action, everything, and people are talking, conversating, etc., which is a good thing. And the lights are on, the open sign's on. I mean, even though it's 10:46 at night, might have been a little off earlier when I said 10:30. I just looked at my car camera. This would be an acceptable place to meet. Nothing wrong with it. There's lights on, there's action going on, and it'd be okay. Now, that, in my opinion, would be okay for like single phones or, 2 or 3 phones. The other thing is you have to ask yourself when you're meeting up with somebody to buy phones is what level of security do you need to safely do the exchange during the deal? So if you are buying, say, 10 sealed phones, okay? 10 sealed phones. Like, I do this on the regular. I haven't uploaded the video yet, but a few weeks ago, I did get some awesome footage of me picking up quite a few sealed phones all at once. I did the deal inside of a hotel. Very secure. I mean, very low chance of me being robbed or something happening. So if you were in town, let's just say you weren't meeting at a hotel, but let's just say you wanted a secure place to meet. This right here is a gas station. I mean, this is well lit. If anything happened, you can definitely, for sure, know that if you had to call the police, if you had to track the person down, or if you just wanted to deter somebody from thinking that they could do something to you, this place is very well lit. This wouldn't be a very good area for a person to rob you or take advantage of you. Another thing is, you got a worker right there, and you could totally go and meet inside to make it even more secure. Now, another example from what we were talking about earlier is meeting in a parking lot that's lit, but there's no action going on. So this, once again, is a lot better than that last mall parking lot or that strip mall parking lot, but I still would not advise meeting here just because of the fact that there's really no cameras out here to be seen, and all of these businesses are well after business hours. Now, just another example, like I said, if you don't have a gas station available or something, you've got a Topper's Pizza place, okay? This is the only thing that appears to be active tonight. And Topper's Pizza, basically, you can see that Topper's Pizza has some action. I mean, Topper's Pizza is open. Now, a pizza place probably isn't going to have Wi-Fi. That's one of the problems. Like most gas stations, McDonald's, etc., or 24-hour restaurants have Wi-Fi. But the thing is Topper's Pizza isn't really a conventional place to meet. However, they do have tables in there. So the nice thing is, if you got there, say 5 to 10 minutes before the person you were meeting, you could calmly tell the employee, hey, I would like to purchase a soda, because it's not polite to loiter in businesses. So me personally, when I always go into businesses, I always purchase a soda, no matter how small it is. And then basically, this guy making his pizza is looking out here at my car. He's probably like, what is that guy doing? I feel so bad for him. Because I have an all black sedan, and I'm pointing a camera at him, and he just looks very confused. But anyways, that being said, there's obviously tables in there. They are open late. You could order a soda and tell them, hey, I'm going to be buying a phone. I just wanted to come inside because I wanted to be safe. Thanks very much. I completely appreciate it. So, very interesting. That's just another idea. I felt bad for those guys. You can see they're both looking out here at me like, what is going on? Maybe my camera looks like a gun from, I don't know, from the window or from 20, 30 feet away. But definitely not going to be robbing Toppers tonight. I like Toppers. I order pizza from them all the time. But that being said, you have to keep this in mind when you guys are going to be doing a deal. Ask yourself, how much security do you need? Do you need a full lit parking lot? Do you need do you need to meet inside? Do you need to meet somewhere where there's people? Do you need to warn somebody before you do the deal? So here's one other thing that you can do. If you, for say, meet in a Perkins or, a Denny's, a 24-hour restaurant, or a McDonald's, let's just say you got a 24-hour lobby restaurant and you want to meet inside, you can tell your hostess, the waitress, whatever, or you could even tell, one of the cashiers, hey, I'm going to be meeting here, going to be buying multiple phones. If anything goes wrong, do you mind calling the police? And, if they hear anything or hear a loud noise or something, whatever, you've already alerted the cashier, said, hey, if something goes wrong or you hear some screams or you hear some yells or whatever, they know, hey, I need to call the police because something bad just happened. So that's kind of something you can do too. You can alert the people in your surroundings. Now, here is another example, McDonald's right here. So McDonald's is probably my king of meetups just because McDonald's has a pretty well lit parking lot, and then on top of that, their lobby's open till like 10 or 11 o'clock. If I need to meet somewhere after 11 o'clock, I'll typically go to Perkins. But McDonald's is a great place to meet, so obviously keep Mickey D's always in mind when you want to meet somebody late at night. But very good, well lit parking lot. A major no-no, obviously, this is kind of a no-brainer, but we'll do it anyways. Don't meet in parking lots that have no lights on whatsoever. So this is the AutoZone parking lot, and as you can see, there is no lights on at all. And also, I don't know what this is, but there is a creepy van sitting here that doesn't normally sit here. So that's another big reason not to meet in parking lots that have no lights on them. You never know what you might get or who might be sitting there. Whether it's a homeless person or a homeless person living in their car or somebody on drugs, you never ever know what could be lingering in a parking lot that has absolutely no lights during the dark. So keep that in mind. Another great place to meet is you could meet in Walgreens. Looks like we got some police action over there. You could meet in a Walgreens. Walgreens are open 24 hours. You could meet in a CVS pharmacy. Okay? So you gotta keep all of these places in mind. If McDonald's is closed or something, or your traditional meetup place just isn't gonna work, keep your mind open and assess the risk level of the deal that you are trying to pull off before you pull the trigger on it, because you don't want to get robbed. And like I said, one of the biggest things I think that has kept me safe, although I do try and practice these safe meetup techniques and, just ideas that I give everyone, I think speaking with confidence, not being skittish, and just coming off as, hey, let's do the deal, let's get this done. I always go for the sale when it's a bigger deal. I don't make too much small talk until I know the person well. And I think that has given off the vibe that, hey, don't want to cross this person just because of the fact that, they are smart, or, you might not be getting robbed, or your robbery won't go very well. Or, hey, maybe they see my YouTube videos and they notice that I record like 99% of my deals. So that could be another thing. Honestly, that's something that I've been doing a lot more recently, is I don't always record my deals and then put them on YouTube because, that would take a lot of time. But I've been trying to record most of my deals. What I've been doing with them is I've been recording them, and then I've been watching them back just to hear what I say, just to critique myself on sales. And then obviously I record it for security purposes too, especially if I'm alone. However, usually I have my fiance with me. So with that being said, if anything goes wrong, she's sitting in the car, I'm doing my deal, or if I'm inside, I have her sit at a separate table. So since I have her, it's pretty, it's secure. I mean, just having two people, that's another thing, the buddy system. Having two people. If you have two people, you have a really secure deal going down, just because of the fact that, hey, if something goes wrong, you've got somebody sitting 2 tables behind you that can call it in, call the cops, or, yell at them and say, hey, you're on camera, you're on this, whatever. A lot of the times when somebody already knows that they're caught, they'll stop doing it. So something to kind of keep in mind. This is another one just in my local area. Just kind of wanted to show all of you. This is a Quick Trip. It's another major gas station around here. This would be another good place for a meetup. So keep all of this in mind when you guys are doing your meetups. These are just some ideas and techniques that you can do. Another place you could meet is like a sports bar, a bigger sports bar. Like this is Wagner's over here, it's called. And a lot of action over there, a lot of people, very well lit. Here, over here, off to the left, Papa Murphy's. Sorry, I like you, Papa Murphy's, but your parking lot is not good for phone flipping. So, honestly, I would not meet in any parking lot like this. Even though it's nice and open and there's decent lighting, it's just not a good idea. So, like I said, make sure you guys consider all this stuff for your phone flipping meetups, especially if you do later night deals like I do. Most of my deals seem to come at night. For some reason, that's kind of what's been trending lately, is just deals are all coming in at night and not so much during the day. So it's just kind of something that you've got to keep in mind when you are phone flipping. No, you got to be safe. You got to be safe because, you know, you don't want to be shot, you don't want to be robbed, you don't want to be losing money, you don't want to get hurt, and you want to also kind of set the standard. I mean, you might be dealing with a buyer that deals with multiple phone flippers. Maybe he sells to you one week, maybe he sells to you the next week. Don't create a standard that allows sellers to think that they can just meet in alleyways or dark parking lots. We don't want people thinking that, because that's where people get taken advantage of, people get victimized, and people get hurt. So that being said, I hope all of you enjoyed this video. Hope it brings some value and ideas to you. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.